Brotherhood, Brazil, the Bible, and beer? This week we get into that and so much more as we sit down with André and Tiago of the band OS Arrais.
This episode is sponsored by JNH Lifestyles. Take advantage of one of their home infrared saunas and experience the many benefits that thousands of people across the United States are praising.
Regular sessions in an infrared sauna will help you in almost all areas of your life.
Start your joyful, natural, and healthy lifestyle today with JNH Lifestyles. I'm Dex.
And I'm Steve-O. And this is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff.
Thanks for being on our show.
Well, it's a joy, man. It was a good drive.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where'd
I
you
took
guys
the train,
from?
actually.
Oh, you
took
did?
the train from Santa Fe. Yeah.
Wait, what?
See, that's
Really?
that's
I
beautiful.
live there, so I left the car with my wife to take kids to school and stuff.
Okay.
I just took the train this morning.
That's a nice, relaxing.
It's
little...
nice. Have you taken the train?
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
No,
nice.
seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
I love it.
nice. So it goes through the pueblos and everything. And
Did
so
you get inspired? Did you write music?
I did not. I normally don't write music, man. It's
No?
really hard. Yeah, these days it's really hard. Like I don't sit down actually. Oh.
When's the last time you did that?
When he was at a sauna.
Yeah. Last time. When was the last time I was in a dry sauna? I don't remember, man. When I think early this year, maybe I finished a few songs that were like halfway. That's pretty much it.
People must be really burnt out on your stuff. Then.
Yeah.
Well, the frustrating thing though about songwriting is that we already have like a bunch of non-recorded songs.
Yeah.
So then you write a new one, you get frustrated because you know we're gonna do that one.
Yeah.
So you just like saying, well, you know, it's not that like it's necessary for me
Yeah.
to thrive or
Yeah.
survive. Like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'll just take the train, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Take the train back and
Gosh.
yeah.
Yeah, it's talking to musicians over the years and stuff. Everybody, of course, has different methods on
Yeah.
how they,
Yeah. Sit
form
down
a
and
song, and some people might have to go out and just do something, go on an adventure, and
Yeah.
just let, just whatever happen.
Whatever
happen,
comes. Yeah, well, yeah, I get that. And most of the people I know that write music, they go on those escapes
Yeah.
to like get creative and sit down exclusively to write an album or
Yeah.
something like that. With us, I don't remember ever sitting down saying, "Now I'm gonna."
I need more of the piece to write something. Like the moment I had my first kids, like that's it.
Oh,
I
you're
can't write anything
done.
else. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably
No,
stop.
he's
No, I
able-
write songs.
He's
in the
able
middle.
to.
Yeah.
It
No
shows by characteristics. Like he's able to like. There's a thunderstorm going on. He's able to like read a book.
Oh man.
So because of that, yeah, he can write in chaos.
Yeah, that's the
So,
secret right there.
Yeah.
So who actually writes the music?
Oh, majority of the songs are his.
Really?
Yeah. And
Then what do you do?
Oh, I
Why
just
are you
stand
here?
there.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I just stand there.
He writes some of our songs. Andre writes the melody parts. So he
Okay.
sends
Oh,
me
it's
the
much
melody
easier to
down.
write melodies.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
do one
that's
right now. Let's write. Dex,
let's do
you
it.
start. You start. And we're gonna do a melody. What are we gonna do? What's the song about?
Well, this is
I'm
we
helping
don't
you.
write a cappella songs, like for choirs.
No, we can do it.
We can do.
The
Yeah,
song
see,
is
look at
about
this.
you know.
You're
the
so-
song-
let's do this.
How about bats?
About
Bats.
bats?
Yeah, because
Okay.
there was a bat that died today, and I'm
Yeah, I
really
saw
sorry.
that.
that's a
Yeah.
sad story.
That was a
That's
sad-
that's a deep character right there.
Yeah,
A bat
the
died
bat.
today.
A bat died today.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we gonna do?
Well, a trampoline killed the bat.
A trampoline.
A
Oh.
that trampoline?
Yeah.
It got
Yeah.
stuck in a trampoline.
It got stuck in a
They found a
trampoline.
bat in the trampoline. It got stuck there in the netting
Yeah.
and died.
Yeah.
Does
I-
the bat have a family?
What do,
I mean, yeah.
pretty sure he has
You know
kids
what I
for
mean?
sure. If you want to make
Like,
it
what-
dark,
what
like
was the
truly
bat-
dark.
what
He
was the
already
bat
lives in
doing?
a dark world.
This is true.
But then he died and left baby bats behind.
Yeah.
And that just gets worse. Yeah. That's horrible.
Man.
Bats and trampolines.
Oh, man.
Bats and trampolines.
No. This
I bet we
I'm
could
just
sell that
setting
in
the
Brazil
tone.
too, man.
Yeah.
I'm setting the
Yeah.
tone. I
You're
don't
set-
know.
But there was no like.
Trying to-
No, yeah.
I don't know.
Is there a
It's-
button
it's-
that you can press like to immediately leave?
An eject button.
Like a safe word?
Is it like a safe button?
Just shuts the show
Gets us
down.
on?
Like I didn't mind the heat, but the
Yeah.
sound.
The songwriting in that
It
song
was
was
bad.
crazy.
Not like he put me on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not like I just
Boy.
needed to.
we gave you so much on that, and all you had was bats and trampolines.
Man.
There was like nothing else.
boy.
to
Yeah.
that one.
I mean, I can already see the song.
That's
in like
the
an hour.
chorus. I gave you the
Yeah.
chorus.
No, that doesn't sound like a chorus at all, man.
No. Maybe a bridge? No, that's not even.
No, I don't
No,
even know.
You weren't building any bridges. You
Guys,
were
I'm not a
burning that down.
musician. You know, I'm not.
See, but you're the
Clearly.
only one that attempted something. So
That's
Thank
actually
you.
true.
That is
You know
true.
what?
I have to
I haven't
appreciate
seen anything
that.
from you guys.
Forgive me
Yeah.
for downing you for that, because you were the creative one there.
Yeah.
So
Although there's no guitar here, so I don't even know how I would begin the song about, you know,
Yeah, that's
a,
what I was
a
saying.
bat
That's what I was
dying.
saying. But
Yeah.
it's a little humid in here for
maybe he has like a guitar in his
Yeah.
Do you have
Apple
a
Watch.
yeah,
Yeah,
Apple?
like he
right.
can like play like
an
this.
apple. Yeah.
But it would be a great song to like a nature album, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a criticism at the situation of the world and you know
Ooh.
warming and climate disruption and
Yes.
all that talk.
Ooh.
and it got caught up in the
you
net.
throw in a bat died on a trampoline today.
On a
People say, "I
trampoline.
love that." You see all these layers. Is it a social commentary? What is the trampoline?
Yeah.
And that's how people.
But was it caught up in the net or just in
It
the
was the net.
trampoline?
It
Because
was
the
the net.
net could represent like a wall or something, you know.
Poor little,
Ooh.
poor little vampire
Yeah.
You use
closet.
that
Yeah.
metaphor
You can
right
always
there.
see all
And
those
it got-
layers there.
It
Yeah.
got trapped.
Yeah.
Got
It
trapped.
was trying to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, guys.
There's so much.
I mean, I think we should just give like 3 seconds of silence for the bat.
Yeah.
Is that like 5?
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Mm.
You guys ever been hunting?
For humans
I mean,
or animals in general?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have, I'd
Is
like
it
to
like
know.
the Hunger Games?
I want you to share that story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I thought we were coming from a dark subject. I thought that would be.
I mean, that is quite
I,
dark.
What was that,
I didn't know if we pushed it harder,
Yeah,
just
no, I
eased
mean-
our way into just. Have you ever killed an animal?
What was the movie with Ice-T?
Oh, survival. what is
Surviving
it?
the game?
Surviving the game.
Did you ever see
Oh,
that?
I have
Wow.
not. I feel I'm missing
He's
out.
bringing it back to like the 90s.
Yeah?
Ice-T was like
Homeless
they went to
guy.
an island. Yeah, he was homeless, and they said they'd give him like $1 million or something, right?
Yeah, these
If he
rich
could, like-
guys come and they take these homeless people and they
And
take
they
them
put
to an
them on an
island.
island.
They
Yeah.
feed them dinner and they're like, oh, spoil them.
Now
And
you
then all of
gotta
a sudden,
survive the game.
they're like, all right, we're going to give you an hour. Good luck. And he has to go out in the wild.
That's it.
And then
and
an
it's
hour
like
later,
big
they
game
hunt him.
hunters, and they're hunting.
Wow.
That's something I would watch
That's pretty good.
after Sharknado.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
If Sharknado is not on Netflix,
Yeah.
we'll definitely
Right.
hit that ice.
I can't
Yeah.
believe Sharknado is not on it.
But that's actually the same premise as It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where they
Yeah.
just tell the homeless guy to run.
that's right. That's right.
they want to hunt. They get pumped up for
You guys
hunting.
are
and
like-
they want to hunt a human being.
So we got to get into this. Clearly, you guys are, global sensations.
Is this what we do in here? We just
This is
lie.
what, yes, we just make
Yeah,
stuff up.
we're global sensations.
Global sensations. Whatever. You've got music videos that it was like, hey man, this is the band, and I'm like, these guys are amazing, and then there's like millions of people watching your videos, which is pretty incredible. So yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
global.
Yeah.
Are there even 6 million people in America? I don't know. Who's counting?
Yeah.
Um,
Nobody counted.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for sure.
Nobody counted.
Are you guys
So-
making that YouTube money? Is that good?
No, somebody is though.
Yeah.
Somebody is. No, we're signed with Sony in Brazil, and they take care of all that stuff.
Oh.
But basically, it's a personality thing. Like for Andre and I, especially me, like I don't like any. I don't know numbers. I don't know like if you give me the.
Yeah.
So basically, when we signed, it's like just
So you're the
take care of
perfect
it.
person to sign.
Correct.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't bother anybody.
Take
Yeah.
our money and just leave me alone.
All they
and
care
go-
about is the music.
Yeah.
That's all they care
No,
about.
it's not even that. It's just like it's really boring, to have
Yeah.
to go through documents and stuff.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
aren't
not
you
even like I need a.
bureaucratic.
Aren't you
It
scared
may
of getting
seem
taken
like I
advantage
am
of?
focused on the music. I'm really not. I just
No?
don't want to
Man.
sign and read stuff. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like
That's
we
pretty
just
much
signed that thing over there right now. We don't even know.
We don't even know.
You don't even
yeah,
know.
Yeah,
you
I don't know what I'm
signed on
signing.
to.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I give up the rights to
You
all.
basically,
To all my
we own
songs.
like 10%
So
of your
good luck,
music
man.
now.
Because
Exactly.
when you transfer all the currency from Brazil here, you'll probably get a good $50.
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
what's
nice.
gonna happen.
That's
Yeah.
what. Yeah.
That's good.
How did that happen? You signed to Sony Brazil. Like what?
Yeah.
Tell us how that.
Oh,
like-
basically in Brazil, we started writing songs when we were in high school and college.
Okay.
Right? So we played these songs. And then somebody said, well, one day maybe you should record them. So we did. And we put out an album that was got very well known in our own Christian denomination. So they went around, my grandparents gave it to their neighbors and it went around. Back in the CD area, no internet, or social media stuff. There was internet, but no, like Twitter and
Yeah.
That was like 2007.
Yeah, 2007. So
Way
then-
back.
Way
yeah,
back.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day, kids.
Back in the day.
That's what
07.
happened.
It's
There was not.
Is it
There's
still
no
back
Twitter.
in the day when it's like in the 2000s?
I know, right?
Yeah,
But I was
yeah.
thinking
Crazy,
about
right?
it.
I guess it
2000.
is, right?
The
Yeah.
year 2000 was the other day,
Yeah.
and it's 19 years ago.
19.
It
Wow.
wasn't
Another 3 seconds
The
of
iPhone
silence.
was
I
released
know,
in
right? That's it.
2008.
We gotta- yeah,
Another
Well,
3
that's before
seconds
the
of
iPhone.
silence.
for the
man.
90s.
Good good times.
It's good times.
Midnight CD release parties.
Oh man, yes.
Yeah, man.
Oh, what else
Yeah.
was the '90s? Good movies.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good
I mean,
movies.
Incense.
Oh,
Black light posters.
No, the black light posters,
Yeah.
Black lights.
Yeah,
as well.
Gravity clones.
Because it wasn't one of the posters. You
Yeah,
needed the lights.
you
as
need
well.
the light.
Lava lamps.
Oh, lava
Lava
lamps.
lamps. The Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Am I right? I mean, it was crazy, man.
Spencer gifts in general.
Spencer gifts.
Spencer
man.
We
That's
just
where you
named,
went.
that's basically everything you
We,
buy
sh-
in
we should just
stores.
talk about the
Yeah.
90s at this point,
Yeah,
man, because I love it,
absolutely.
man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Now you got to write a '90s inspired album. Are you kidding me?
And I would put the Bat story in there because the Bat is like a representation of the 90s that got stuck in the
Well,
net of the 2000s.
in the 90s, it was not a time of too much inspiration because that's when I was playing the violin and he was playing the flute.
That's right.
Really?
Our
Yeah.
parents asked us to choose instruments.
So the 90s was.
Wait. And you
And
chose
then-
the flute?
I know. I still wonder what happened. I think part of the reason was when we were, I think, at a band recital or a concert thing, and I just realized the first and second row of flutes were really nice looking girls. I said maybe I'll get into this flute thing just to sit
I
right
like
there
that.
in the middle.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that was the rationale.
It
But I didn't get
backfired.
any
It
women.
backfired
No,
eventually.
I didn't get any girls. I didn't. And this again, I was 10, 11, 12 years
Yeah.
old.
But you were
So I
already
got
thinking about it. You're
I was
the
like, yeah, I wish I
ladies.
could be there, but it didn't work out. That's the same reason why I picked up the guitar though, because when we went back to
Oh,
Brazil,
okay. Yeah.
we're in the United States.
Yeah.
Back to Brazil, our dad was a pastor. Went to this camp thing with all the youth, and then I had my flute. And there was a fire thing, and the guitar guy had all the, everybody
Yeah.
was around in, and I had my flute, and I looked at the guitar guy, I said, then I went home and said, I
can't
need a
include
guitar,
that.
man.
Yeah.
I need a guitar right now.
You can't impress with the flute.
You can't impress anybody with a
yeah.
flute.
No, it's-
I feel like the violin.
Like a jazz flute.
Well, the violin was.
If you're
was
Ron
annoying.
Burgundy,
Oh,
you're playing
yeah.
a jazz
Jazz
flute.
But you don't did it. It wasn't
Then-
a jazz.
but I
flute,
wasn't
though.
nearly close to Ron Burgundy.
It was like,
No, the violin was just annoying.
Yeah.
I had to choose between continue with an instrument and the life of my family. So.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was horrible.
Okay.
The practices at home were horrible.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
just disrupted the
I
whole
actually
family.
played the
vibe.
violin
Did
and
you?
the alto sax.
Did you?
So
I did sax
I did-
afterwards too.
I
yeah.
did. That's funny. Yeah. I did. I started with violin.
I went up the
and
fifth
then
volume.
saw the band.
Yeah.
Suzuki.
Yeah.
Suzuki.
Okay.
You know,
Fifth volume,
90s
that's
again,
it.
man. Kenny
Yeah.
G was around.
Kenny
You say,
G
hey,
was around.
that sax sounds good.
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
you're not.
90s.
Yeah.
Vanessa May. Is that the
Vanessa Williams?
No, I don't know. She
That's
There were so many Vanessas.
She,
in the
There's so many
she had an
Vanessas in the
electric
90s.
violin, and you're like,
That's
man.
like the
Oh yeah, there was an
2000s.
electric.
She's Asian, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's Asian.
She played the electric violin. That's all I remember.
So
Yeah.
we got to go
She
back
was
in
great.
time. So you guys
Yeah.
grew up in Brazil?
Well, mostly, but then our parents decided to study in Michigan, so we
Oh,
came. I
okay.
was 7, he was 10, so we spent 3 years here.
3
That's where we
years.
learned English and
Okay.
stuff, and learned
They went back to Brazil and then came
flute
back
and
here.
violin and many other things
Okay.
Yeah.
In
That's
Michigan.
in Michigan.
And then went back to Michigan afterwards. I did a master's and PhD in Old Testament and Christian philosophy.
Yeah.
I did a master's.
I studied law first in Brazil, graduated with my wife there. And
Same
then,
university in Michigan.
Same university, and then
Went
came
back.
to study theology in Michigan.
And then he came
What?
to Albuquerque
Yeah,
and I went
it's
to
a lot of
teach
stuff.
Brazilians are really smart.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
No,
like,
they are.
Americans are idiots.
No.
See now?
No, there were a
you
lot of
guys-
Americans at
you
the
guys-
school.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they were there.
Michigan.
I mean,
Yeah.
but then again, nobody knew about this nice backyard here. If I knew, I would not have thrown away 8 years of my
But
life.
I got
in the
American
library.
citizenship in 2014, so I find that very offensive.
Yeah. I mean, we already offended the fact that everybody in Brazil who doesn't have talent.
Yeah.
Now all offend my nation and say
Yeah.
that we're all idiots.
So-
So, there
But
you
anyway,
go.
the music stuff, we started writing the songs and then
Yeah.
went to college, continued writing. Somebody said, write it down. An album came out. Our family threw it, toured people.
Yeah.
They heard it. And then when we came back to the U.S. to do
Tiago
study,
fled the country. And
I fled the country the first time, first exile. And I started continue writing songs. Andre comes over and says, you got to listen to this guy called Andy Gullahorn, who's a singer-songwriter
based in
from
Nashville.
Nashville, Tennessee, friends with Andrew Peterson and all that crowd over there, which is phenomenal. And then I heard his album and said, this is great. We got to call this guy because we need to have him produce this album with us, the next one. And then I found his email, stalked the guy online,
What?
found his email, wrote him, sent him 3 little song demos, said, hey, I want to meet you and I want you to do this with us. A month went by, he wrote us back saying, hey, I have no clue what you're singing about, but I think there's something here, so just come over and
Yeah.
spend 10 days at my house without even knowing us.
Yeah.
Man,
And I said, is this guy gonna kill us, or is like a psychopath or something? But anyway, so we did.
That's how horror movies start.
Yeah.
That's how horror. But again, we became great friends.
Or
with the
how
family.
great things
And
happen.
that's how we recorded all of our albums since then in Nashville.
All of them have been with him.
You just emailed random people? You're like,
No,
man,
that was the one time.
Taylor
That was
Swift,
it.
she's like really great. I'm going to email her.
I'm gonna email her.
Be like, I don't know you. You're going to do my record.
But you're gonna do my record.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we did all of our records there with him since then, and then when we did that first one in Nashville, a friend of ours who was already signed in Sony, who has a phenomenal ear and is also a great singer. He writes a few songs, but and if you check him out later, he's called Leonardo Gonçalves. If you think we have a lot of
I love them Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles.
He's amazing.
If we have 1 million people seeing our stuff, he has like tens of millions of people seeing his stuff. But he was already signed with Sony. So he picked the demo, like the first bounce of that album we did in Nashville, took it to Sony without us knowing, showed it to like the director guy. Then we got an email from the guy saying, hey, we want to sign you guys. And we said, sure, we're students. We don't have any money, so just take it.
Living in the U.S.
Living in the U.S. So that's how it started. And then that first one did really great. So it went all over the place to the bookstores in Brazil, like Barnes & Noble and stuff. It was all over.
Wait, they have Barnes & Noble in Brazil?
Well, type of Barnes & Noble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
like,
kind of
what?
store. Which now is going downhill because then again, not a lot of...
It's 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Well, this was back in the day still. So now that we have a lot of,
People read books.
Now, when people read books. Another 3 seconds.
Not
Those are
Kindles.
good.
Yeah. Books, man.
No,
Half of the show's just gonna
basically
be,
now
like,
we have
moments of
Spotify,
silence.
Apple Music, all that stuff.
The
So now
streaming
it's
services
much
are taking
easier.
it over
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So that's the story, man. And then we've been with them since then, and then it got bigger. We do now tours every year in Brazil.
Once a year.
We go around Brazil to like these nice theaters and play to people. And to me and Andre, it's always surprising that people still come out because we're not there like doing the circuits and like doing the media stuff.
Well,
Our
the songs
Instagram, we don't
speak
post
for
anything.
themselves, like, because we don't do as much, as they would expect, like advertisement and posts, every week and stuff like that. Like right now, I think we haven't posted. Like I just had a child right now, another child.
No, we haven't
And
posted in
Tiago's been
months.
busy with a lot, like months without posting anything, and streams are
People still listen to it.
are
which is
growing
great.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great because the attention then is not like on on me and him, but on the songs themselves, and it's great that way.
What are churches like in Brazil compared to here in America? Is there a big difference on how you guys maybe worship,
culture?
or how the formula is?
I think now with globalization, especially with how that affects Christianity and how we do church with Hillsong and all that stuff shaping how worships are. So you have a lot of similarities, a lot of growth. Brazil is a very religious country, Catholic at first. But then non-denomination neo-Pentecostal churches are spreading and growing a lot.
I grew up in
growing a lot.
Pentecostal.
So basically that's going on. And even the Catholic Church is trying to adapt, making some charismatic branches into the church and trying to make that happen. And so it's huge. Religion is huge. In regards to worship style, it's quite similar these days with Hillsong influencing and how people are writing songs, so quite similar. Unless you go to like little country churches, and then you realize it's quite similar. I went to a funeral the other day in Dixon, in a Catholic church, and on the side there was this little band and like 2 singers leading it. So it's very similar to how they do it in Brazil too. So you have similarities, you have differences, but I think with Instagram, internet going around, I think everybody's sort of copying this, this formula, I guess.
If there's one thing that you could change with the church right now, what would it be?
That's a heavy.
Let me give me 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Because
seconds
it's
to
like a
think about
sauna.
Well,
in here.
I think we can't reinvent the wheel. I love the writings of it's Eugene Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
Eugene Peterson, he wrote a book, his biography, Pastor, a biography, and there he criticizes a lot of this, how religion in the West and in America has become like a consumer product, basically, to offer people, and how people have focused on the growth and how the church is perceived and all that stuff.
Numbers.
And I have
directors
nurtured
and-
over the years studying the Gospels and studying for myself, and then reading Eugene Peterson recently. That ministry should be the opposite of that. Basically, focusing on people and investing yourself in a particular territory and committing to it. And then he mentions Wendell Berry, who's a farmer out in Kentucky, and he says, if only pastors would commit to a territory like Wendell Berry commits to a land, and not worry about being perceived in a particular way outside, but committing to what is not seen, which is the internal reality of people. Which I'm not saying those who are focused on marketing stuff are not doing that. I don't know anybody, so that's not a criticism toward them. It's just where we are as pastors. I think it's having that mindset that if we are to be salt for instance, which is one of the main metaphors Jesus uses for the church, it's all about bringing forth flavor and disappearing. You don't see salt in food normally. It just disappears. Yeah. So that would be the opposite. If the focus is on me or my church and how much we're doing, and that's literally the opposite of what he's trying to convey. So I like the idea of disappearing, of having a group of people that understand the gospel so well that they just mix themselves in life, and people don't just notice how better life becomes when they're around.
That's good. I like that.
So on the general sense of what we can change in church, I would love to see that happen, you know. Religion or churches ceasing to be like a consumer product in a religious supermarket, and become much more personal and invested on things that are not perceived by other people or not seen. So that's number one. And number two, truly understand what the Bible's talking about, and not what I'm talking about as a pastor or other pastors are talking about, because again, you can get so distracted to the immediate demands and the immediate, you know, ideas of the gospel.
Or placating the elder generation that because it was perceived a certain way, and those are your tithe payers, we have to cater to that, even though it's a dying.
That's a reality.
It is.
Oh, it's
reality,
very
right?
much a reality.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So those are the few things that I think we can talk about and change. But
that's good.
How do we do that? How do we change it?
Well,
I mean, we're not going to, because it's consumer America. But
it is. Well, there's I think the motivation for it is just that, you know, it's possible. The possibility, I think, is the motivator to go after it. And we have seen, I mean, when I was
it's long-term, though. That's the thing. It's a long-term process. So if you come waiting for short-term expectations, I think...
Which is part of consumer...
Disappointing, as you're going to be disappointed. But if you look at the long-term...
Yeah.
But I mean, I was a teacher in Brazil for 4 years after I did graduate school, and you can see change in students after a while. Not immediately, but you know, even I had religious and non-religious students in class, and I was teaching theology and philosophy. So I mean, some of them didn't care at first. Then something happened in their life, they come back, and then it connects 2-3 years in or something like that. So Andre's completely right. I mean, it's committing to a land, just like farming, and understanding that some things you are able to do, but other things are completely invisible. They happen underground and outside of your control, and that's the mystery, or the mix between our efforts and the spirituality of it all, of having the Spirit guided and do things that you're not able to do. So I do think that part of the change is that commitment to people and to a location, commitment to the gospel, and just a commitment to patience, which you don't see a lot these days as well, just for the long run and see things through, which I think is great.
We want you to sing the theme song to Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. That's kind of how we end every episode.
We end every episode with the theme song.
So, and it's a new song every time.
Yeah, because
it's a new song.
Because God placed a new song in you.
Amen.
Yeah.
I love how we're quoting scripture.
But there's nothing new under the sun. So it's like that paradox, right?
Dang. You see how that happens?
See, did that just contradict itself?
Yeah. But
so what? Don't sweat
the small stuff.
The small stuff.
Because we shouldn't. That's like gospel, right?
Yeah. So we do a song and then we wrap it up.
Yeah.
So let's go, Andre. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Dang, dude.
Dang, bro.
It blew my mind.
Dude.
Favorite one yet.
Hey, you guys want a sauna?
Yeah.
Go to the link down here, and you guys can put in our discount code to get a, I guess, a discount.
Discount. That's why you put in a discount code. DSTSS. That's our discount code to get you a discount on a sauna. JNHLifestyles.com, or you can just go to the link in the description because it's there.